Hi, I'm Lucas, and today I'm gonna redesign the sound for this scene. As always, I start by importing the clip into Logic and laying down a room tone that roughly matches the space. The room feels quite large and metallic, so I pitch the tone down to give it more weight, and I cut it right off when Adam steps outside. Next is the sliding door at the beginning. Since we don't actually see the door, we have some freedom here. I imagine something mechanical and slightly heavy. I layer a office chair pressure sound for the sliding motion and a hydraulic pressure release for the force behind all of it. Underneath, I add a low rumble to make it feel more solid. Now for the eyes. They blink in a very mechanical way, almost like a camera shutter. So I use a shutter sound, but only small fragments of it. I remove most of the transients and pitch it slightly up so it's a little brighter, but not too aggressive. For the standing up movement, I experiment a bit with servo motors and mechanical textures. Keep in mind, the goal here is not really realism, but somehow believability. I try to match the motion as closely as I can. When the body stumbles against the wall, I use a body fall as a base layer. I remove most of its character with an EQ though, so it mainly provides low-end impact. And because the environment looks metallic, I layer in pitched down metal scrap sounds to give it some texture. Also, I add in a dull metal impact sound that matches that space I am trying to create. The hands touching the walls need to feel physical, so I add metallic impacts at each contact point. For the sliding motion, I use a metal scraping sound and match the pitch so it sounds like the same metal wall. This impact feels too light, so I pitch it down further until it feels heavier. Now for the footsteps. These always take some time. I start with soldier footsteps as a base layer and sync them carefully. On top of that, I add metal footstep textures to connect them to the environment. Since this character is mechanical, I add a subtle electric motor layer and sync them up with the footsteps. I keep it very quiet and try to mask the fact that it's only 2 sounds by varying the length and the timing over the whole section. Some footsteps still don't work, so I replace a few until they feel natural. I also want stronger metallic accents when the hands hit harder. I reuse the earlier impact sound, but pitch it slightly differently so it doesn't feel repetitive. The servos are still a bit too sharp, so I filter out some highs and adjust the pitch again. Now they sit better in the mix. For the exterior, I keep it simple. A desert wind ambience, a low-end impact layer, and a body fall sound. Near the door, we see air pressure devices releasing mist. I use an air valve sound and automate the volume slightly as we are walking by them. Duplicating and panning it left and right makes it feel wider. The door still lacks a bit weight, so I revisit it and add the windshield wiper to that too, and pitch it much lower. At this point, the place starts to feel real. I adjust the soldier footsteps a bit more, shortening tails and making them slightly less predictable. Now that all elements are here, I place everything into a convolution reverb. This is usually the moment when the space really comes together. Underneath everything, I add a subtle synth drone from my liminal space pack, just to add a bit tension. And for the ending, I use reversed symbols as risers from battery 4. I quickly record them and align them to the footage. And that's it. Let's watch the whole clip again. I'm quite happy with how this turned out. If you have any suggestions or ideas for future scenes, let me know. And if you enjoy this kind of cinematic sound breakdown, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.